Welcome back to Work Break Reading. Last time we started Book 5, we listened to Adam and Eve sing their song of praise, and we ended as they ended their song. So prayed they, innocent, and to their thoughts firm peace recovered soon and wonted calm. On to their morning's rural work they haste, among sweet dews and flowers, where any row of fruit trees over woody reach too far their pampered boughs and needed hands to check fruitless embraces. Or they led the vine to wed her elm, she spoused, about him twines her marriageable arms, and with her brings her dower the adopted clusters to adorn his barren leaves. Them thus employed beheld with pity heaven's high king, and to him called Raphael, the sociable spirit that deigned to travel with Tobias and secured his marriage with the 7 times wedded maid. Raphael, said he, thou hearest what stir on earth Satan from hell, scaped through the darksome gulf, hath raised in paradise, and how disturbed this night the human pair. Now he designs in them at once to ruin all mankind. Go therefore, half this day, as friend with friend, converse with Adam, in what bower or shade thou findest him from the heat of noon retired. Oh, goodness. To respite his day labor with repast or with repose, and such discourse bring on as may advise him of his happy state. Happiness in his power left free to will, left to his own free will, his will, though free, yet mutable. Whence warn him to beware, he swerve not, to secure, tell him with all his danger, and from whom, what enemy, late fallen himself from heaven, is plotting now the fall of others from like state of bliss. By violence? No, for that shall be withstood, but by deceit and lies. This let him know, lest wilfully transgressing, he pretend surprisal, unadmonished, unforewarned. So spake the Eternal Father, and fulfilled all justice. Nor delayed the winged saint after his charge received, but from among 1,000 celestial ardors, where he stood veiled with his gorgeous wings, upspringing light flew through the midst of heaven. The angelic choirs on each hand parting to his speed gave way through all the imperial road, till at the gate of heaven arrived, the gate self opened wide, on golden hinges turning, as by work divine the sovereign architect had framed. From hence no cloud, or, to obstruct his sight, star imposed, however small he sees, not unconform to other shining globes, earth and the garden of God with cedars crowned above all hills, as when by night the glass of Galileo, less assured, observes imagined lands and regions in the moon, or pilot from amidst the Cyclades, Delos or Samos first appearing kens a cloudy spot. Down thither prone in flight he speeds, and through the vast ethereal sky sails between worlds and worlds, with steady wing, now on the polar winds, then with quick fan winnows the buxom air, till, within soar of towering eagles, to all the fowls he seems a phoenix, gazed by all as that sole bird, when, to enshrine his relics in the sun's bright temple, to Egyptian Thebes he flies. At once on the eastern cliff of paradise he lights, and to his proper shape returns, a seraph winged. 6 wings he wore, to shade his lineaments divine. The pair that clad each shoulder broad came mantling o'er his breast with regal ornament. The middle pair girt like a starry zone his waist, and round skirted his loins and thighs with downy gold, in colours dipped in heaven. The third his feet shadowed from either heel with feathered mail, sky-tinctured grain. Like Maya's son he stood, and shook his plumes, that heavenly fragrance filled the circuit wide. Straight knew him all the bands of angels under watch, and to his state, and to his message, high in honour rise. For on some message high they guessed him bound. Their glittering tents he passed, and now is come into the blissful field, through groves of myrrh and flowering odours, cassia, nard, and balm, the wilderness of sweets. For nature here wanted as in her prime, and played at will her virgin fancies, pouring forth more sweet, wild above rule or art, enormous bliss. Him, through the spicy forest onward come, Adam discerned, as in the door he sat of his cool bower, while now the mounted sun shot down direct his fervid rays to warm earth's inmost womb, more warmth than Adam needs, and Eve within, due at her hour, prepared for dinner savory fruits of taste to please true appetite, and not disrelish thirst of nectarous draughts between, from milky stream, berry, or grape, to whom thus Adam called. Haste hither, Eve, and worth thy sight, behold eastward among those trees what glorious shape comes this way moving. Seems another morn risen on mid-noon. Some great behest from heaven to us perhaps he brings, and will vouchsafe this day to be our guest. But go with speed, and what thy stores contain bring forth, in poor abundance fit to honor and receive our heavenly stranger. Well may we afford our givers their own gifts, and large bestow from large bestowed, where nature multiplies her fertile growth, and by disburdening grows more fruitful, which instructs us not to spare. To whom thus Eve, Adam, earth's hallowed mold, of God inspired, small store will serve where store, all seasons, ripe for use, hangs on the stalk, save what by frugal storing firmness gains to nourish, and superfluous moist consumes. But I will haste, and from each bough and brake, each plant and juiciest gourd will pluck, such choice to entertain our angel guest as he, beholding, shall confess, that here on earth God hath dispensed his bounties as in heaven. So saying, with dispatchful looks in haste, she turns on hospitable thoughts, intent what choice to choose for delicacy best, what order so contrived as not to mix tastes, not well joined, inelegant, but bring taste after taste upheld with kindliest change. Bestirs her then, and from each tender stalk, whatever earth, all-bearing mother yields in India east or west or middle shore, in Pontus or the Punic coast, or where Alcinous reigned, fruit of all kinds, in coat rough or smooth rind, or bearded husk or shell, she gathers, tribute large, and on the board heaps with unsparing hand. For drink, the grape she crushes, inoffensive must, and meaths from many a berry, and from sweet kernels pressed she tempers dulcet creams, nor those to hold wants her fit vessel pure, then streams the ground with rose and odors from the shrub unfumed. Meanwhile, our primitive great sire, to meet his godlike guest, walks forth, without more train accompanied than his own complete perfections. In himself was all his state, more solemn than the tedious pomp that waits on princes, when their rich retinue, long of horses led and grooms besmeared with gold, dazzles the crowd and sets them all agape. Nearer the presence, Adam, though not awed, yet with submiss approach and reverence meek, as to a superior nature bowing low, thus said, Native of heaven, for other place none can than heaven such glorious shape contain, since by descending from the thrones above, those happy places thou hadst deigned a while to want, and honor these, vouchsafe with us, two only, who yet by sovereign gift possess this spacious ground, in yonder shady bower to rest, and what the garden choicest bears, to sit and taste, till this meridian heat be over, and the sun more cool decline. Whom thus the angelic virtue answered mild, Adam, I therefore came, nor art thou such created, or such place hast here to dwell, as may not oft invite, though spirits of heaven, to visit thee. Lead on then, where thy bower o'ershades, for these mid-hours till evening rise I have at will. So to the sylvan lodge they came, that like Pomena's arbor smiled, with flowerets decked and fragrant smells, but Eve undecked, save with herself, more lovely fair than wood nymph, or the fairest goddess feigned of three that in Mount Ida naked strove, stood to entertain her guest from heaven. No veil she needed, virtue-proof. No thought infirm altered her cheek. On whom the angel, Hail, bestowed the holy salutation used long after to blessed Mary, second Eve. Hail, mother of mankind, whose fruitful womb shall fill the world, more numerous with thy sons than with these various fruits the trees of God have heaped this table. Raised of grassy turf their table was, and mossy seats had round, and on her ample square from side to side all autumn piled, though spring and autumn here danced hand in hand. A wild discourse they hold, no fear lest dinner cool, when thus began our author. Heavenly stranger, pleased to taste these bounties, which our nourisher, from whom all perfect good unmeasured out descends, to us for food and for delight hath caused the earth to yield. Unsavory food, perhaps, to spiritual natures, only this I know, that one celestial Father gives to all. To whom the angel, therefore what he gives, whose praise be ever sung, to man in part spiritual, may the purest spirits be found no ingrateful food, and food alike those pure intelligential substances require, as doth your rational, and both contain within them every lower faculty of sense, whereby they hear, see, smell, touch, taste, tasting, concoct, digest, assimilate, and corporeal to incorporeal turn. For know, whatever was created needs to be sustained and fed. Of elements the grosser feeds the purer. earth the sea, earth and sea feed air, and air those fires ethereal, and as lowest, first the moon whence in her visage round those spots unpurged, vapours not yet into her substance turned, nor doth the moon no nourishment exhale from her moist continent to higher orbs. The sun, that light imparts to all, receives from all his elemental recompense in humid exaltations, and at even sups with the ocean. Though in heaven the trees of life ambrosial fruitage bear, and vines yield nectar, though from off the boughs each morn we brush mellifluous dews, and find the ground covered with pearly grain, yet God hath here varied his bounty, so with new delights as may compare with heaven, and to taste think not I shall be nice. So down they sat, and to their viands fell, nor seemingly the angel, nor in mist the common gloss of theologians, but with keen dispatch of real hunger and concoctive heat, to transubstantiate what redounds transpires through spirits with ease. No wonder, if by fire of sooty coal the empiric alchemist can turn, or holds it possible to turn, metals of drossiest ore to perfect gold, as from the mine. And we'll end there and pick up tomorrow. Thanks for watching.